The Amazon doesn't kill you quickly. It dismantles you, layer by layer, until the person you were before the jungle is completely gone. Over the last century, dozens of documented cases reveal a terrifying pattern. Experienced adults, trained soldiers, even indigenous guides became so disoriented inside that green labyrinth that they lost entire weeks of their lives. And one of those cases ends in a way that nobody, not even the rescuers, could explain. In 2007, Israeli traveler Yossi Ginsberg spent 3 weeks alone in the Bolivian Amazon after his small group became separated near an uncharted river. He had no survival training. His feet rotted from constant moisture. Maggots burrowed into his skin. He survived almost entirely on raw berries, bird eggs, and sheer psychological stubbornness. Rescuers found him delirious, severely malnourished, and convinced he had been walking in circles. He had been, for 11 days straight. Around the same time, in a completely separate region of the Amazon basin, a Brazilian rubber tapper named João Amorim went missing for 23 days after his canoe capsized during a flash flood. He was 54 years old, diabetic, and had no supplies. Search teams gave up after 2 weeks. He walked out of the jungle himself, barefoot, having eaten insects, river clay, and the inner bark of a specific tree he had learned about from his grandfather. His blood sugar, when measured at the hospital, was at a level doctors said should have rendered him unconscious. Colonel Percy Fawcett disappeared into the Mato Grosso region in 1925, along with his son and a companion, searching for a lost ancient city. No confirmed remains were ever recovered. The jungle absorbed them completely. Over 100 people died in subsequent expeditions trying to find what happened. In 1981, a Peruvian woman named Juliane Koyepka survived a plane crash in the Amazon, the only passenger among 92 to survive the impact, and then walked alone for 11 days through dense jungle, using a stream as her guide, fighting off maggot infection in her open wounds, before finally reaching a group of loggers. She was 17 years old. Marina Chapman claimed she was abandoned in the Colombian jungle as a young child and lived for 5 years among capuchin monkeys, learning to forage and survive before being found by hunters. The case remains disputed, but multiple anthropologists have studied her behavioral patterns and found them consistent with prolonged jungle isolation during developmental years. In 2014, a group of 6 French hikers became separated in the Guiana Highlands. 3 were recovered within days. 2 were found weeks later in states of severe psychological dissociation. They had no memory of the time they spent alone. The 6th was never found. A Brazilian military survival instructor named Marcus Vinicius de Moraes completed a sanctioned solo survival test in 1999, 40 days, no equipment, in the Amazonian interior. He lost 27 kilograms. He described the experience by saying the jungle was never silent, never dark, and never, not for a single hour, indifferent to his presence. That phrase stays with you because every single one of these documented survival cases shares one common thread, and it is not strength or training or luck. The survivors themselves identified it independently across different decades and different countries. That thread is the one thing the Amazon cannot take from you if you refuse to release it. They all chose, at their lowest moment, to keep moving.
Almost gone.